Hello, everyone, and welcome to my Hackathon daily updates. It's where we bring you the interviews and also updates related to my Hackathon, Malaysia's first national hackathon. And we want to bring you the best content also and value. So we put a lot of thought into the people that we bring in. And today we've got a very important guest together with a very important person who has been behind the design of my hackathon. We have with me Razif Abdul Aziz, who is the COO of Cradle Fund, and Haslinda Rasip, my hackathon architect for 2020. Today's topic is very, very relevant to you if you have a business or are planning to think of a business, because today's topic is about importance of articulating your points clearly in businesses. So you get the viewpoint of these two important people, which I think would be most insightful because one, Cradle Fund is a powerhouse in creating support for many startups in Malaysia, and also from Haslinda Rasip, who is a seasoned software developer, and I understand that she's also the top 10 software ninja in Malaysia. So it's something to be proud of because I was just talking to her just now, and she is among the few women who are on that top 10 list. So I'm very happy. So hello everyone. Hello Razif and hello Haslinda.
Hi, Alex.
Hope both of you are well. Thank you for spending your Friday 6 p.m. with us. I won't take too much of your time. This hackathon daily update is typically 30 minutes or so. So I guess I'll ask questions, and then after that we will explore this topic, importance of articulating your points clearly in business. It's an interesting topic. So maybe I'll ask Razif first. Hi, Razif. I understand that you are also the past executive director for the Malaysia Business Angels Network, MBAN, and now you're CEO of Cradle. So you do have a long experience in startup funding. So maybe you can explain or introduce yourself, and also maybe you can share with us what has changed in the landscape of startup funding in Malaysia.
Hi guys, Razif here. As the MC has said, I was the executive director for NBAN for I think 2015 to 2018, 2019, that length of time. I was their first executive director. They didn't have an executive director before with an operational role, so I was basically answered to a council, sort of like a board of directors of sorts, who are basically private individuals who are also. So I was brought in to help run things on a daily basis. I held that position concurrently with my position at Cradle. So basically, my time at MBAN started at the same time I started at Cradle as COO. Before that, I was at Biotech Corp, or Malaysian Bioeconomy Corporation, now it's called. So that was way back in 2006. So I've been in the startup, tech, innovation, commercialization kind of space since 2006. So that's quite a bit of time. I've seen first biotech startups, people taking innovations from bench market, and later on at Cradle, I started to see a lot more of what we call digital based startup companies. Uh, but basically, they were all tech startups lah. So there was, I guess, the focus has always been on tech startups in my case. So it's been a long and wonderful journey. I hope the train doesn't stop and keeps going, and I'll hang on this train for as long as I can, because this is where I think where uh, my passion or my interests are. Basically, seeing how we can get innovations to market. Generally speaking, yeah.
Thank you for that. Definitely, you've seen a lot more than I have, and I guess also Katrina also has a long experience as well, looking at a tech startup, but probably not from the viewpoint of an investor. But I do know that Linda has a long-standing experience developing software, and I understood that. Again, I reiterate, like I understood that Linda has been named as the top 10 software ninja. It's really quite an achievement. And also, you're the current CTO. Linda is a CTO at Droppy, which is the startup that she's at, who is only Malaysia's second startup to enter a world famous Y Combinator program in the USA. Perhaps you can explain to us a little bit more about that, yeah, Linda? And also, please do share a little bit of a background or introduction about yourself.
Okay, thanks, Alex. So I'm Haslinda Rasip. Most tech people or non-tech people in industry call me Linda Rasip, or most of them call me Kat Linda, like Alex. I'm the co-founders and CTO for Droppy.com. We are a B2B marketplace that bringing wholesale online and try to get bring the right product and the right suppliers to business retailers. We have two products, direct and open marketplace, and currently with this MCO, Alhamdulillah is quite running quite smoothly, and I have some time looking at MYHackathon, and really fun job doing the architect of the MYHackathon program with Cradle and Mosty and all these MYHackathon teams that we have. And really, really passionate. My passion is really in problem solving. So I did a lot of UX design, technical. So I'm problem solving everywhere,
It's true.
regardless of CTOing or designing, architecting. Is always about problem solving for me, and how to arrive to a destination that we intended. So that's about me. And as a top 10 ninja, that was like 2015. And if you notice, it's only the only female in the list. It's become my passion to actually get more female on board in the tech world and remain in the tech world as long as they can. Because most of good tech, female tech actually choose to go be outside of tech, which I think is a loss to country and to the economy. Women bring certain flavor to tech. It doesn't mean the guys is not good; they are good. But if we have both guys and girls, is the world will be better. Again, problem solving. So that's about me.
Thank you so much, Linda. I always admire Linda in the team because she and her experience actually create a whole experience for my hackathon as well. Because my hackathon, we're in being part of this team is you get to meet a lot of people and you get to meet a lot of experienced people. So also, in addition to that, we also have awesome mentors and also coaches who are in the My Hackathon team, together with the people like Cradle Fun, who has been the backbone of this hackathon. It has been a very exciting hackathon. It's very different from other hackathons. I think later on, maybe Linda can share a little bit about how My Hackathon will be. But before that, I want to ask this for Razif. As an active investor, you definitely have seen a lot of business pitches, because coming back to our topic today, to articulate a good idea is very difficult, or not so easy for a lot of people. Communication is also something that is a skill that people have to pick up. So maybe you've seen a lot of business pitches. It's probably almost double digits of proposals or pitches in a day. Can you share any tips on how people can articulate their ideas better, or maybe especially on their products and solution, could be useful for the people who are participating in my hackathon?
Okay. I'd like to start by saying how I am not an entrepreneur myself. But before people say that, how can someone who has not gone through an entrepreneur experience actually sort of like lead, manage a development agency that talks about entrepreneurship, which is at its core. think my role is basically as an observer. In my job, leading, managing programs, etc., you see a lot of things, and what you do is what I try and do is basically bring those observations, bring the things that I've seen and seen in terms of what works and what doesn't work, and try and share that with the community, with the ecosystem, and try and basically guide people in terms of what do investors want, what do investors expect to see, those kind of things. So this question sort of like leads nicely into that question. What is it that investors look for, and how important it is to articulate the idea very clearly. Actually, it's probably the most basic thing to start with. Your ability to articulate your idea to someone. It doesn't even need to be an investor. It can be anybody who is interested to know. Someone in the lift asks, who are you? What do you do? And then you say you're a startup, and they want to know what your product or business is, or what is it that you're selling. So you, in that brief moment of time where you are in the lift with that person, you need to be able to articulate that idea, that concept behind your business, and it needs to be as simple as possible. A lot of people use analogies like I want to the simple example is I want to Uberize so and so, and basically people immediately get it, I Uberize this, I Uberize that. To some extent the Droppy concept is similar. I have utmost respect for entrepreneurs, co-founders, especially lady entrepreneurs. My wife herself is a lady entrepreneur. We're trying to make it out there, and kudos to all of you guys who are still fighting the good fight. So coming back to that question, sorry, I digress. So articulating that idea, so you must be able to articulate the idea in different situations, short encounters, because you might never know what happens from that short encounter. If that person is interested, it could be a potential partner, could be a potential customer, for example. Of course, when you're talking to an investor, it needs to be a bit more technical, I guess. It needs to have a bit more depth. But having that idea in your mind at any time, ready to go, be it a short conversation, a fleeting one, maybe an old friend who's in a company or an area that you are interested to connect with, meets up with you. Hey, what you doing these days? And then you then try and tell him what it is that you're doing, what your startup does. You need to have sort of like an idea of what you want to say to him in that brief encounter. That differs from, say, an engagement with a VC or a potential investor, which could be a longer period of time, maybe an hour over coffee, maybe over lunch. So you'll have a longer explanation. But articulating the idea clearly helps with the investor understanding what the opportunity is. I think the key here is understanding the opportunity. Business, so a clear description of the business or the business model, what it is that you're doing, what you're selling, and how helps give the person listening the understanding of the opportunity. What is the opportunity? How big is that opportunity? And whether you have what it takes to sort of like exploit that opportunity from maybe how you do it, your business model. Maybe you have a technological advantage. Maybe you have the right team. You've lined up a whole sort of like A team from a particular sector that memang orang kata this is it. That's the dream team if you want to do the next Asia, for example. So you have Asman Osmarani, Irene Omar, who I don't know happened to be available and joined you. So that's that kind of thought process you have to think about. So I think the key, just to sum it up, the clearer you are able to explain your business, the better the chance for the person listening to understand what the opportunity is and the size of the opportunity. That's the other very important thing. Yeah, there's an opportunity, but how big is that opportunity? If it was something big, then it's worth his time, perhaps. If it was something like very niche, not scalable, it might not interest that person, but it may interest someone else, right? For example, if it was a social impact thing, it's designed to benefit rural people in terms of, say, clean water, access to better internet, for example. I just saw that girl in, was it Sabah or Sarawak, who tried to get connectivity.
Oh, that's
Maybe you
Sabah.
have an idea about a tech that will be able to cheaply, in a cost-effective way, get connectivity out into the remote, rural areas. So that's a technological advantage. So, and then maybe from a scale perspective and from an opportunity perspective, it may not be very big because obviously there are not many people, it's sparsely populated, but it may interest other people who are interested in basically getting connectivity out to the rural people who are living in rural areas. So it really depends on the situation, and but whatever it is, clarity is key. And on a final thought, sorry, don't want to hog the time. Final thought would be, it also, because if you're clear there, it will help you in a pitch, for example, which is usually the process that a lot of organizations use to help filter out, what they are interested in and what they're not interested in. So usually a pitch is what, 5 minutes? So in 5 minutes, you have to be able to articulate all of that clearly. So if it's not clear, either you lose the opportunity because people are not interested, or they just are turned off by it, So what I can say about that.
Thank you for bringing to light on how investors will look at a pitch, because I think it's important that people who present or people who are participating in this hackathon especially to take note of that, because I'm here to pick your brain again, because my next question is, do you think, in your opinion, what's your response to startups who use too much startup jargon in their presentation?
Oh, sorry, was that to me as well?
Yes.
Oh, okay. Sorry, but my audio is not very good. It's a Mac, but somehow the speakers are
It's all right. It's
breaking
okay.
up. Anyway, that's a good perspective. I mean, a good question in a sense that this especially applies in innovations from R&D space. STI, science technology, from the university. A lot of entrepreneurs or innovators there, when they pitch their idea, they tend to get lost in the science, and they don't realize that you need to simplify the science. Hence your point about jargon, technical terms and all that. You need to try and simplify the thing, tailor it to the audience, of course. If most VCs don't have any, I mean, at least in Malaysia, they don't know in depth about biotech or nanotechnology and all that. So the science becomes very, I have a general idea, but what they want to see is how it works from a layperson perspective, so that they can make that connection with the size of the opportunity. What is that opportunity? I have technology that helps break down and using enzymes break down the cellulosic content of plants, which then I can turn into packaging, for example. So the process itself needs to be very simple. Use lay terms for the process. They of course will want to see the science. There is science in there somewhere, and it's not just something you made up. But just enough so that to give the idea that this thing is legit, but try not to focus too much on the science, because I see a lot of these presentations which are like 20-30 slides long, and
Mm-hmm.
more than half of it is on the science itself and less on the actual business. How are you
Mm-hmm.
building a business around that science, you know?
Mm-hmm. That's true.
So
That's
which
true.
is what they are interested in. The science
Mm-hmm.
itself, they are going to do a due diligence and they're going to validate it and all that. As long as they are satisfied, hey, it works, because that professor, that PhD guy, and a few other people in the community says, yeah, looks legit and it works, they're fine, you know. But more important is, how do you build the business? So
Mm-hmm.
I guess this applies generally as well to digital tech. You don't want to be talking about routers and, you know, this process or that process too
Mm-hmm.
much. Just show how it works and show what the opportunity is, I guess.
That's true. That's true. So I'm guilty of it coming from academia myself and also doing a few pitches as well. And also for Linda, I think you've done a lot of pitches in your lifetime because you've made it to the Y Combinator program.
Yeah.
And I guess the next question is for you. What are the three things that you've learned? I think you've seen a lot, looking at other people's pitches, evaluating your own pitch and everything. What's one thing that totally changed your perspective on how to pitch?
Um, well, before I start, maybe I should, tell something about Y Combinators.
Mm-hmm.
Because some people might not know about the program. It's
Mm-hmm.
actually a program based in US, and it helps a lot of businesses like Airbnb, Stripe, and a lot of unicorns company also.
Mm-hmm.
And interestingly, actually, when I designed this my hackathon content, I tiru basi sikit from Y Combinator. So when we run the program over there, like when we join program over there, it's not only a mere accelerator. They give us really those people who already done it. So the mentors, the coaches, even the learning sessions, you get all these people who have gone through ups and downs of the business. And because of that, it opens a lot of network globally, one. And the three things I think really change us when we come back is one, really focus on building the solution that customer love, and don't like simply positive validate your product. You really need to get take the hit of people don't like your product and what they don't like, and then turn it into something that they love. Second is articulating your values. So it's not about your technical solution so much. It's actually what values you give them. That's why we talk about innovation more than invention, because innovation is improving what's there, right? Invention is creating something new. But what's important is you need to know your values. So you Uberize everything, you Airbnb everything, but what is the values that you provide that unique from everyone else? And how do you articulate that values so that people buy into that values, and people wants to get to know you, and people wants to love your product? That is actually quite hard. It took Droppy co-founders and team actually sit and run through a series of workshops to really land on something that we're really proud to say what is our values. Um, the third one is team empowerment. This another issues I think a lot of startup have problems is we call it passing the Lego block. So how comfortable are you as the founders and co-founders of the business to start letting go some of the controls and taking in external input from the internal team or external people to improve your product? uh, Again, this is not something easy. A lot of founders will feel like, oh, I already think about everything. I already talk to hundreds of VCs, hundreds of partners, so I know the best. But what we learn when we go through YC and also other accelerator program that we have gone through before, it's really like it's not easy, but you need to do it. And you start articulating your values with your internal team when you do the empowerment of your team, because you need to make sure that the values that you articulate is clear enough so that your team can be empowered. When you achieve that, then you can start looking outside, right? How do you articulate things? How do you articulate the values so that people can understand? Don't go like you say just now, all this like technical jargon. No one that like want to give you money actually understand your tech.
Mhm.
What they understand is, oh, okay, this service makes my life easier, or this service give me more money, or this service save me more money, right? So the values. So what's the values? I think that's more important. And when you're articulating, if you have this, even in my hackathon, you have 5 minutes.
Yes.
If you really, really, really wants to deliver a very clear pitch, then try to understand what is the main values that you provide in solving the solution. If you can articulate across the point of the values that you provide in solving the solution, the judges might interested to listen more,
Mhm.
and then they will look to add more points in your presentation. I think that's the tip lah for all
Mhm.
those that pergi finalists, and even for those that want to enter the next round.
Mhm. I like what I'm hearing from both Razif and Haslinda, because I think it's a nice balance where Razif is talking about how investors think, and also Linda is talking about how you communicate those values within your own company that then translates to how everybody else will view the company themselves. So it's a really honest thing to do. Linda, what do you think? No, no. How long did it take Droppy to be honest with themselves about their values and communicate that within the team?
Well, YC program is 3 months.
Mm-hmm.
So we have 3 months to like talk just between us, because only co-founders can actually get involved in YC
See.
program.
Mm-hmm.
But when we get back, I think it took us a good 2 months to actually start, seeing the effects of that change. And it's not an easy process, but I think we are getting there. And we're happy to share with any other businesses that we know.
In a way, it's like being honest to yourself and your company first before being honest to others. And it's a lovely thing to hear coming from a startup, because we always forget that side of the business. It doesn't sound like a business language, but I guess in your case, Linda, it's necessary for the team to be working as a team. So I really like that. That's really nice. So I guess a lot of points can be taken from Razif and also Linda today. And we are trying to give our best value to all my hackathon participants, whether you are a current participant, whether you are a finalist, or maybe you're thinking of joining us in the next My Hackathons in the next few cities. So I'm here to ask, maybe we can start with Razif and then Linda. Can you share some advice to our future participants, or maybe current participants, if you will, for pitching in final days or pitching anywhere? And also, do you have any advice for people who would want to join, or maybe any also advice on how to understand solutions, or how to understand their ideas to articulate them to the judges better?
I think talking about pitching in terms of advice for pitching, I think we've covered quite a bit of that already
Mm-hmm.
between me and Linda. But what I'll say is that this is a unique opportunity. If you've ever wondered, always have this complaint like, hey, kenapa service ni lambat? Why didn't they do it this way or that way? This is probably a unique opportunity. I don't remember of another previous occasion where the government is essentially opening up this whole opportunity of or ability for you to listen to you in terms of, okay, if you have a better idea or better solution to do this is your chance, right? And this time, I mean, of course, Mampu does a similar hackathons as well and all that. But what I'm trying to say here is that in this particular instance, we are actually going to offer winners or winning solutions, the best solutions to actually develop those solutions and get it deployed. So this is the pesanan from my YB Menteri, is that he wants to see impactful solutions that are deployable. So the chance for you to be able to be part of this process, this is unique. I don't think, there is any way that man in the street gets to be part of process which is normally internal. The government will do a procurement process and all that, and then open for tender and all that. But this is open to you. You can participate, you can propose the solutions, and you have a chance to actually create a new business if you don't have one now, but you have an idea. Or it's great for your business if you have a solution, and this could be market access into the government procurement space. So I think this is a unique opportunity. Everyone who has an idea, who has the passion to actually take, exploit this, grab hold of this opportunity. Yeah.
I really agree with you on that. And Kak Linda, would you have any answers to add on to that?
I think the key, I like what Razif is sharing. I think the key is deployable. So when we look into all the submission for the past 2 rounds, there's good ideas, but sometimes you don't present it properly. So when we say deployable, it's always about, can the technology be deployed citizen-wide, nationwide, right? It's citizen-centric nationwide. And then is the cost really affordable? 250,000 is just for pilot, but what is the actual cost? So you need to be able to guesstimate the actual cost. And then whether your team have capabilities, or do you realize what capabilities needed to deploy? And I guess also one thing is diffusion of this technology. What is the plan for all this, like even government or citizen, to accept this, to diffuse into this technology, right? So that is what it means by deployable. And to a certain extent, I would love to thank Mosti and Cradle for doing this, because for once,
Yes,
Hackathon is not about idea. Hackathon is about a real solution, an impactful solution. But we need the citizen and the rakyat to come to come and join us and give us that impactful, deployable solution, so that government can make decision. I guess this time is government have, if it is chess, right? Government have made their move. So now it's our turn to make our move. So whether we want to do it or not, or we just want to complain at the side. I guess that's my advice to them. Like, really think on how to deploy, not just ideation. It will be good for everyone.
I really love that answer, Linda. I really, really do, because it's really the participation of people in development in a way. At this scale, My Hackathon is really Malaysia's first national hackathon. And we actually do have a question coming from online. It's from Ben Ong. So I'm going to read out the question for both of you. Anyone can start answering lah. So articulating in layman terms an innovated product is a skill that's hard to hone. What to pay specific attention to when it is also a group effort with diverse background? So I think for my hackathon, there's only one person who will be doing the pitching. So his question is addressing that.
I guess we have touched this a bit just now. It will be one person pitching, but you are representing the whole group, right? So how do you see your solution really solve the problem? That is important. And how do you see your solution being a deployable and impactful solution? So I think that's the key point, that within that 5 minutes, you need to articulate, and you need to present that to the judges, so that they can see the value, they can see your solution is really impactful and deployable, and they can give you good marks for the presentation. And that's from me.
Thank you. What about you, Razif?
I think Linda said it all. In terms of if the concern is, who among you should do the pitch, it should be the person who can best articulate, best in terms of conveying the idea, So he has to have the best in-depth knowledge of what it is that the team is trying to do, and it doesn't need to be the leader. I think it can be the whoever can best convey that. It's a team effort, and go with that. I mean, that's all I can say, I suppose.
Mhm. So that's the answer for that question. Yeah, Ben Ong, the person who asked the question just now on our live stream. So now it's time for our lightning round, and I'd like to ask these few short questions, and you can both answer in a short answer. So, what's a recent happy moment that you've had?
Ah,
Recent happy moment.
Yep, recent happy moment.
being with my cats.
Ah, that's interesting. Wow, cats! I love cats. What about you, Linda?
I have 6.
Oh, I have six too.
Wow. Recent happy moment. I think spending time with my family while the business is running okay and running the My Hackathon.
One of the blessings of working from home. Definitely. And okay, my next question, lightning round question would be, what are you thankful for at the moment?
What was that again? Sorry?
What are you thankful for at the moment?
Having a job.
Yes, yes.
uh, I'm thankful for whatever I have now. I think it's enough for me to be happy. So I'm thankful for that.
That's nice. That's nice. So my last lightning round question is, what is the secret to happiness?
Being thankful.
Well, it's very easy.
Yeah, exactly. Being grateful with what you have, and yeah, being comfortable with that, and and keep pushing forward.
Thank you for that. That's really nice to hear, especially in these times. Um, So, okay, the other question before we leave is that does Hackathon currently allow only the leader to pitch? I think I'm passing this question to Linda as my Hackathon architect. So, only leaders pitch, is it?
um, Actually, in
I
my
sorry.
hackathon,
I hope I didn't screw everything up by saying yeah.
uh, what we expect is yes, but because in my hackathon program, the teams is represented by the leaders.
Mm-hmm.
And when we actually look at the team, we look at the leaders first. So we expect the leaders will do the presentation. But if the leaders think you need to pass the baton, I think that should be okay.
So that's a high expectation for those who are going to do the pitch. So do think well who will be that person lah.
Yeah.
Okay, good. Thank you for answering that question, Linda. And don't worry, Razif, you're not doing
No, no, no,
anything
no,
wrong. We
you're
have
not.
the architect with, we have the hackathon architect with us, so we're safe. We're safe.
As soon as
So,
we go off live,
so definitely thank you to Razif and also thank you to Linda. For those of you watching, you can expect to see my hackathon daily updates every weekdays. Sorry, my mistake. Every weekdays at 6 p.m. And also, I'd like to remind you, if you would like the updates, especially via email, you can go to www.myhackathon.gov.my, and there's a little box at the bottom where you fill in your email and you will get updates on my hackathon, even if you're a participant or you're going to be a participant for my hackathon soon. Future updates will be updated through email and also through our social media, through Cradle Fund Facebook page. And with that, I thank all of you who's watching. I thank our panelists. And also it's time from my hackathon. It's time to digitalize, streamline, simplify, and even disrupt government delivery. So everyone, thank you and stay safe. Bye.
all right, stay safe.